Successful, but what? They're not successful. Why?
So that's his why buy. But what is he afraid of?
My personal style of education, but still entertain them, bring them along with stories, right? Who do we want to learn from? People who are what? Killing it.
If you're a real man, what do you do? I'm not the only one.
You can't wait to tell your spouse. You can't wait to tell your colleague. You can't wait to go to work and tell somebody. And you're like, oh my God, I can't wait. So what happened?
If you haven't seen my TV show, you should get cable. That's what we need to do.
From doing a TV show to doing corporate events, I've been so lucky to connect with many passionate entrepreneurs worldwide.
What I've learned from a business perspective.
Because this is the formula for success, no matter who you talk to. Attitude will drive your behavior. Would you agree? And your behavior will drive your consequences every single time.
All right, we got the concept. Okay, we got the concept. We got the equipment, right? We got the brand. You guys got that. And then again, we got the content that we create. That's the easy part. This is the big one, the big C, which is the commitment.
What should you do? That's right. All right. 10Xers. Do not fail me. True test. Here it comes.
There's skill, and then there's will. Listen to what I'm saying. There is skill, and then there is will. And here's the interesting thing. I know a lot of people who have a lot of skill, but have no what? Will, right? You ever look at somebody who's successful, and you say, why them, why not you? Yes, okay, that's me too.
You have more control, but your costs are also going to be what? Higher.
Now, here's where some of the magic is starting to kick in.
You can talk to any CEO in the B2B business, any CEO. You walk into his office and they only care about three things. People too. Yeah, he with the suit, put it up. There you go. I hope you can see this. I'll try to draw big. Let's pretend for a moment that I had 7 territories. You remember I wrote that out? Yes or no? Boom. Territory 2, territory 3, all the way to territory number what? 7. So now I've segmented my market.
So content is going to start being created by machines. And I'm telling you right now that those people, you guys, the content creators that connect with people are the ones that are going to win. Some people think, well, it won't work for my industry. Really? It'll work for any industry. Trust me. The majority of the time when we're looking to fix something, repair something, or learn something, where do we go? YouTube. We don't even want to read anymore. We go to YouTube. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong.
When you're doing your thing, beautiful things begin to happen. It's like the law of attraction kicks in. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're in line with the universe. Everything works. And when you do your thing, everybody gets an automatic MBA, which stands for what? Mega Bank Account Money. Are you with me? So we don't want to do a thing. We want to do a what? Beautiful.
All right, put it all together for Victor Antonio. Here we go.
All right, there we go. I'm not here to mess around. You ready to learn? Yes or no?
That's how it works in today's market. Whether it's B2B or B2C, you see the similar pattern. How do you just, in other words, say you got to start doing these things, pushing them, but also encouraging them.
Oh, look at this. This is where it gets, dude, this is like so interactive with audiences, man. Can you imagine this with your customers?
Check this out. Now, what does all this have to do with selling? It has everything to do with selling.
All right, welcome to another, it's not even Sales After Dark, it's mostly like Sales Afternoon. So I got to change the title to Sales Afternoon. I was in the studio here, I thought I'd jump online and just kind of see what's what. I was recording some podcasts, so I figured, you know what? Let me jump online, hang out. I've never done it like midday or afternoon, rather. It's about, it's a little after lunch right now here in the U.S. So real quick, I'll just say hi to a few people, and then I'll jump into some content, and then I'm out of here. How's that sound? All right, who do we got here, man? We got Ben Cancer King, Ben the Cancer King. Where's the party at? I think it's right here, man, right now. So anyway, Maher, do I say Maher or Maher? Zerky, Victor is the best, man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. And then we got hello from Dubai and missing you. You know I love Dubai, man. It's like, that is a great city, man. That's an amazing city. I'm sorry, but that's just an amazing city. I think it is the future of international cities right there, man. So that's pretty cool. Zenur Ozbey. Ozbey. I think I got it right. Greetings from Istanbul. Love Istanbul. Love the airport at Istanbul. Love the hotel they have in Istanbul. You can actually just kind of do layovers. My favorite place to do a layover there. So, man, I love that, man. So thank you for that. Guardas John, jump in here. Okay, Ryan, I don't know what that is, but, man, if you're feeling it, that's it. That's all here. I'm here, too. Tron, my man Tron. He's usually in the evening, man. So really good, man. Let me see. We got Protege Basketball. Tune in from Massachusetts, man. Thank you for being here. We got Kevin Durkin from St. John's, Florida, man. Thank you for joining me. Juan El Mero, El Grande, mi amigo, Juan Rivera, man. Thank you. He was on my podcast en español. Looking forward to publishing that one. Gracias, hermano, por su tiempo. Mohammed Yosufdin. I may have gotten that right, Mohammed. Thank you for joining me, man. Thank you very much. We got Mohammed again from Dubai as well, man. I love it, man. We got Sylvine Amy from Canada. Brr. I know. That polar vortex is coming down. It's got to be cold up there. My sister sent me pictures from Chicago. Ugh. I think there were like 6, 7, 8 inches of snow. It looked really cold. You know it's cold when you can just look at a picture and go, it's cold. All right, let me see. We got Victor, I am becoming a serial seller, man, a true sales psycho, man. And the reason is Victor Antonio, man. And by the way, a serial seller is a subtitle for one of my books. It was called The Sales Cycle, How to Become a Serial Seller, man. So thank you for that. Delta Sys E-Form and 3D printers, man. I know that's not your real name, but I thought I'd say it anyway. Zuno, right back at you, man. Right back at you, man. Hello from Egypt, man. Sharm el Sheikh, that's my place, Sharm el Sheikh, man. So anyway, thank you for joining us. All right, got a few more. Man, you guys are jumping on board here. Christos Altiparmakis from Greece, man. Wow, thank you, man, for joining me. I think maybe you're the first person from Greece I've had, man. From Chicago, Vinay, stay warm, man. Stay warm, man. Manny Madrid, Eminem in the house. My man, great new background. Haven't been here in a bit. Yeah, I got the new look going. What do you think of my subliminal message there, man? That's a subliminal right there. You know, and then help you with your sales, man. See, that's kind of how the background works. Anyway, we're working with the background. Let me know what you think about the background. If you don't like it, let me know. Mohammed from Dubai, man. Thank you, man. Let me see. Ana Maria Laszlo. I'm happy to be here again. Ana Maria, I'm glad to have you here again. 40 today, minus 40 today. Oh, man, I feel that pain. That just hurt, and I'm not even there. Farudin Semovic. Man, the last 3 letters I love. Vic. God bless you for all this free content. Greetings from Sweden. Sweden, I love it, man. Thank you, man. Stay warm as well. Well, you guys are probably used to the cold up there, right? All right. So we got Oscar Cabrera. Saludos desde Mexico. Thank you, man, for joining me, Oscar. Appreciate that. I'm trying to keep up with all these things. It's scrolling pretty quick here. Luther Vasquez from Lubbock, Texas, man. Hope you're doing well, man. I am doing well, Luther, man. Thank you, brother. Yi Lee. I think I got that right. From France. Interesting topic. Look forward to it. It's going to be quick. Once I get past this part, when you were here, boss, UAE is calling, man. Good vibes. Right back at you. Right back at you. I love the UAE, the Gulf states. Love going out there. Love the shisha, by the way. Yeah, I love the shisha part. So anyway, let me see. Victor, it's nice to see you live streaming. I never thought it would be able to follow your journey with you. Relic Origins, you are here, man. So anyway, Jason Hoops. Oh, my brother, man. This guy's awesome. I used to travel with him. Great sales guy, great sales leader. Man, it's been a while, Jason, man. Good, dude, you just made my day. You just made my day. It's been so long. So let me see. Noah Pershing. Hello from Cannabis industry, Eugene, Oregon. I love it, man. I've been there actually. I actually did an event for their, it was like, I think it was a police department, and they gave me one of those cool coins from Eugene. It's a beautiful place, by the way, beautiful city. Let me see who else we got here. Then we're going to jump into some content. Love you, brother. Thanks for all you do. Right back at you, LinkedIn user. I don't know why it's not showing your name. Andres Lead, always loyal from Colombia. Gracias, hermano, for being here. Greetings from Michigan. You are the man. Right back at you. Stay warm again. Egypt here again with Sharif Anwar. Love it. Andres Leal Mastrovic. Thank you, hermano. Gracias. Marcos, and then we'll jump into this. Sayan, good morning from Los Angeles. LA in the house. Darius Reeves. That just sounds like a tough name, man. Darius Reeves. Had to say what's up real quick. Thank you for the what's up, man. Right back at you. We got somebody from Modesto, California. Ronell Chandra, man. Thank you for joining us. And then we got my man Tron again. What do you got to say, Tron? Love the look and glad you stopped the cam that followed you. You like to move, almost got dizzy here. Yeah, I still have it there. By the way, he's talking, I bought this camera that follows you, but it just moves too much. And it's because my style of moving when I present is just too much for the camera. So I might not use it anymore. My man Tarun, man, always great to have you from India. And last one, whoa, another brother. Man, dude, I got to do these more often during the day, man. Carrie Mickelson. We go back. I mean, so far back it is even, I don't even want to say what the year was, man, Kerry. But anyway, he was our neighbor in our first apartment in Hopkins, Minnesota, man. Thank you for joining me, Kerry. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. All right, last one. Love your training videos from Atlanta, Georgia, Burt Park. Good, cool. All right, let's just jump into some of this stuff. So what I want to do is, I was putting together some material for a training that I have to do. And there's a part of this that I wanted just to kind of highlight with you guys. So if you're doing demos, whether it's a software demo or not, whether it's a physical product, whatever it may be, what I want to do is give you a structure that I think is really powerful. And one of the things I want to emphasize is the last thing you want to do is when you're doing a demo is, you know, we all do the discovery, ask a lot of questions. But if you think about it, customers want you to get to the point. Let them know that you're focused in on them. So I'm always emphasizing within the first literally 3 to 5 minutes, boom, I am on your topic. I am in your space. I am in line with what you're thinking. So we all know in selling, there's usually typically, here's a 3-step process for presenting and selling, right? First of all, you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them, right? You tell them what you're going to tell them. Here's what we're going to talk about. Then you're going to what? Show them, right? Show them or tell them. And then you're going to, again, tell them what you just told them, right? Tell them what you're going to tell them or show them, and then tell them what you just told them. Typical structure, right? Let me do it slowly because sometimes I go too fast, get too excited. When we do sometimes a presentation, we're going to say, look, here's what we're going to talk about. Then you talk about it. And then you're going to tell them what you just talked about it. That's the way to really drive the message home. So it's an interesting structure. It's a good structure. For anybody who does basic presentations, this is the structure. But then I was thinking, how do you do that? How do we kind of pivot that and really get to the point when we're talking to a customer that we impact them? So let's set up a scenario. You got 15 minutes to do a presentation. That's it. 15 minutes. You got to do a presentation. Now, let's set it up. You've already did a discovery phase with them. In other words, maybe you sent them a survey. Maybe you sent them a questionnaire. You have the information you need to do the presentation. You got 15 minutes. Got 5 people on the virtual call, all key influencers, decision makers. You got 15 minutes. How do you do it? So what I would do is I would take, let's say, the top 3 issues that are common across all those decision makers, right? If possible. And I know that's difficult sometimes, but just imagine top 3 issues. And what you're going to do is, using that same structure, the first step is to actually basically frame the issue. You're going to frame an issue, okay? You're going to frame the issue. And it's an issue that you know that they have, a problem that they have, something that they know, you know they're dealing with, but also something you know you can solve, right? So you're going to frame the issue. Then we're going to go back to the obvious part, which is to show them, right? You're going to show them how you're going to solve this issue. Now, the third part here is where I'll just call this the imagine piece. The imagine piece is the how it's going to change how they do business. So let me go through it slowly. Let's say that you're talking to like a software company, right? And you're saying, and let's say that the company needs to look at information quickly. That's one of their biggest things. One of the biggest issues is in order to grab the information that they need, let's say revenue or pipeline information, they need to look at multiple screens and pull in data from multiple sources just to get the data they want, and they have to look at multiple dashboards. Again, something like that, right? So that's one of the biggest issues, access to information quickly. So what you're going to do is frame the issue. Mr. Prospect, one of the challenges you mentioned you had is pulling information from your database, from your CRMs, and having one common screen to look at all the different data points that you need to look at, like revenue per salesperson, maybe pipeline opportunities, and upsides or upsells. And you need to look at that on one screen. I've just framed the issue. And by the way, if you're in line with the issue, the customer is going to go, yeah, that's exactly what we need, because our current software doesn't do that. So again, Mr. Customer, your biggest issue is you can't access all this information on one screen. You have to pop up multiple screens, and it's very difficult to have a conversation. We got multiple screens up, and sometimes you have to pull the information and go from back and forth, screen to screen, just to look at the information. What if we could pull all that information on one screen to make it easy for you to access that information? Bam, set it up. Then you show them, here's how you do it. Now, one of the things in the here's how you do it is that you have to show them how effortless it is. We talked today about in business, one of the things that customers are looking for is an effortless experience. They want it to be easy to buy from you, right? If you look at what's happening today with artificial intelligence and customer journeys, the whole point is to try to make the buying experience easy. Amazon has the one-click buy. Why? Get to the information, buy real quickly, just one-click buy. The future of Amazon, by the way, FYI, using artificial intelligence, you won't even have to click the buy. Now, the buy one button will be gone. The AI, the machine learning will be able to predict what you need so you don't even have to click a button. That's where the future is going. But for now, they got it down to one button, click the buy right now. So your job is to make it seem to the customer that it's easy. So again, if you set the issue correctly, if you frame the issue correctly, then it becomes about show them how easy it is to access that information. So then now I'll say something like this. Let me show you how easy it is to access the data you want. Click, drag, drop down, bam, bam, click that, bam, 3, 4, 5 clicks, whatever it may be, boom, all the graphics pop up on one page, right? So now I frame the issue, I showed them how effortlessly they can actually access that data, to which they'll go, wow, but then you have to go into the imagine piece now. The imagine piece is you're gonna tell them what you just showed them or told them, but more importantly, it's kind of a forward-looking statement. You're going to say, imagine being in a meeting with your salespeople, maybe virtually online, and being able to, with a couple of clicks, pull up the information you need on pipeline, conversion rates, sales, call to meeting ratios, meeting to close ratios, whatever data points you need. Imagine being able to pull that information up so quickly that you can have a natural conversation with your salespeople or your team in general. Imagine how easy it's going to be if your boss calls you up and says, hey, I need this data, I need these reports. How easy it'll be for you to be able to pull that information out and send that information forward. So that's the basic structure. Imagine framing an issue, show them, effortless being the key phrase here, and then this one, imagine, being the forward-thinking sequence here. Now, if you buy that, 1, 2, 3, we'll just call this framing, showing, and imagining, right? So now, if you got framing, showing, and imagining, now imagine that you build a sequence of all three. You got 15 minutes to do it. You can now build this daisy chain sequence. Now, that'll allow you to kind of build a 15-minute, you hit the top 3 issues. And by the way, don't forget that if you're doing this type of presentation, it's 15 minutes, the first question, the most important question is what? In fact, give it to me in the chat. What is the one thing you should do before you even put this 15-minute presentation together? Give it to me in the chat. What is the one thing you should do before you do any of this? Before you put this whole presentation together, you have the information. So you got to get the information from the client. I got that. But before I start building the presentation, putting my pitch together, what's the one thing I should have defined? Come on, don't fail me. Don't be afraid of me, man. Come on, put it in the chat. What is the one thing I need to define before I put any of this together? Come on, I know you guys are champions. Relic says questions. You got to have good questions. I'm with you on that. Not the answer I'm looking for, but that's a good one. What is the one thing I need to have defined? Bert Park says, get their attention. Part of the process, you're on it, not what I'm looking for. The problem, question mark, not what I'm looking for. Need, no. Rapport from Set Hill, no. But I like that too. Make sure you get a common ground with the customers. I love that. Great answer, but no. The problem, no. Attention, no. Define the problem, no. Good afternoon, Victor. CF, yes. Okay. Anticipating objections, yes. That's a good part. But before you even do that, perspective. Perspective. All right, Samir, I like that. Your pitch. Well, there it is. My man, Vinay. Bam. What is the end in mind? That's what I'm looking for. Never begin. I can tell Vinay's been hanging around Sales After Dark. He knows this. Congratulations. I salute you. Right? Way to go. But what you want to do is ask yourself, what is my CTA? And the CTA is, what is the call to action? What are you trying to get them to do? This is really important. I'm having fun with this, but this is really important. You need to define what it is you want from that meeting. What is the next step, right? What is the next step you want? And what you want to do is build your presentation. If I can draw it out like this, imagine that this is your presentation in 15 minutes. Imagine that this right here is resistance. Your job, typically resistance starts up here somewhere. I don't know, some arbitrary number. Call it 100% at this point. And our job is that as we present, it drops. Let me go a different color here. Let's go to red. It drops. We drop it there, right? And if we're really good at presenting, we move it into the yellow zone, right there. And if we reduce it just enough, we start moving into the green zone, and then there's the call for action there. So I think it's good to plan these things out. When you know what your call to action is, what your ask is, then you can reverse engineer your presentation. The mistake many people make is that they don't define this, but they work real hard at this. By the way, everything you guys said made sense, by the way, so you're absolutely right. Do I want to build rapport? Yes. Do I want to have great questions? Yes. Do I want to connect? Yes. All that's good stuff, and I know you guys are good at that. But here's where most people fail, because you don't define how you're going to ask for the next step. I think it was a study by Forrester that says 76% of salespeople never ask for the close. That to me is a close. By the way, a close doesn't mean I close the deal. It could be whatever the next step in the sales process is, the advancement of that. So what if you practice that? If I were to ask you right now, if you did the presentation on the software, what would be your asking line? What would be your closing line? What would be your ask? How would you ask me for the actual strategy, the actual deal? How would you ask me? Come on, put it in there. How would you ask for it? How would you ask for it? Right? Like you did the whole presentation. Now we move into the ask. By the way, ending this and saying any questions is never a good way to end the presentation. So I should emphasize this. If you end the presentation and you say any questions, first of all, not many people are going to want to answer it, especially virtually. It becomes very difficult, right? So if you get to the end, a nice strategy to keep in mind is if I finish it, and let's say I'm going to go with Vinay again, because he was the guy that got it with the end in mind. I'll say, Vinay, let me start with you. Based on what I've shown you, do you have any questions? And then I can just hit all 4 or all 5 people on the virtual chat and give everybody an opportunity. Now, again, if I want to engage them, I can reverse that question. I said, Vinay, tell me what you found interesting or something that impacted you from this presentation. Based on the 3 things I've shown you, which one impacted you the most? Or which one resonated with you the most? See, these are questions you have to plan out. So when somebody says, have questions, I said, yes, I'm with you on that. I'm 100% with you on that. But now, let's say I've gone around the room and I feel it's a positive feedback. Now I want to ask for the call to action. What's the next step? So I'm going to say something like this. Based on your feedback and based on what I've shown you, when do you think, and again, you come up with your own line, when do you think we can get started with a beta test with this product? Or when could be, get other decision, maybe because maybe the next step is not to get a trial period going, maybe it's to get more decision makers in the room. So instead of the top 3, we had 3 people in the room with us, maybe we want to get the 5 or 7 people who really make the buying decision, right? So maybe the call to action is, can we meet with your other teammates to really put our arms around how we can, get this solution done? And instead of a 15-minute presentation, maybe we can make it a 30-minute. So my ask is, my call to action at the end would be, I'd like to meet with the other decision makers, and can you give me 30 minutes of your time? And that's what I would ask for if I knew that that was my call to action. Anyway, on that note, that's all I have for you today. So I see some stuff scrolling here. I'll take some questions and we'll see what happens. Then we'll go from there. Then I'm out of here. Go get some lunch or something. So let me see. So nice job, Vinay. Build rapport, Elkin. Yeah, build rapport. My man Juka's in the house, man. Visualize the process, success. Can't argue with that. The problem. Did you know? I love that line. That's a great line, by the way. Authority to make a decision. This is something you should know, by the way. So, Greg, I'm with you on this one. It's something you should know. Hopefully the people in there are decision makers, but your point is well taken. Javard says, visualize. Absolutely. Hello from France, by the way. Thank you. Right back at you. Their pain, you got to understand their pain. See, you guys know this stuff. This is all the basic stuff I know you guys know already. What do you got? What do you got here? Let me see. I got 84 comments here. So sorry, I got a lot of comments floating on me. So I'm sorry about that. That was the last one that came up. Authority decision. I lost you guys here. They're paying. Roger's from Arkansas, man. Thank you for joining me. Wow, amazing technique. Thank you for joining me. Let me see what else we got here. We got Victor. You know I love you. Can you please tell us a little story that helped you make some deals? A little story that helped you make some deals. Okay, that's an interesting question. A little story that helped me make some deals. I think the best stories are before and after stories. I think that's what people want. I think when you're talking to customers, they really want the before and after stories. So there's nothing specific I tell, like they don't care about my personal story, but they love when I tell them, I said, look, I had a client just like you. Here's kind of what we went through. Here were some of their challenges, right? That's kind of the setup, using the same structure. And then I showed them, here's what the product did and how it helped them. Now imagine you're using the product now, and then this is where you start talking. Imagine you're using it now. Imagine I walk you through the process where I'm going to show you how it's going to save you time, money, effort, and I'm going to give you the confidence to go with this product. They did it, so can you. So usually the best stories, 6,700, Adam, is really not just personal stories. I think, those are moving, I think. But I think before and after stories, just one or two, testimonials are great. Here's a tip, by the way, and I think this is interesting that you bring this up. So I'm glad you asked this question. Too often, for social proof, we show the logo slide. You ever see those slides with all the logos, all the logos? And you think, check it out. Look at all the companies I've worked with, right? And you think that's impressive, which it is. But you know what's even more impressive? That instead of having, let's say, all these logos, instead of having all these logos of all these large companies on your screen, that's what you show them, right? All the logos on the screen. The problem is, and that's great, but the problem is sometimes the client goes, well, we're not that big. I can't relate to those companies. They're not in my industry. So that might be a pushback, right? And so again, I would be cautious to using the logo slide. Everybody does that. Here's what you should use though. What if instead of using a logo slide, this goes to you, 6,700 Adam. What if you just said, here's company A, here's company B, and then you just show 3 companies, right? And you show a profile, right, of each company, industry, whatever. It's very similar to the product, the client you're talking to, and you just show 3. And then somewhere here, ROI, 18%. ROI, 27%. ROI, let's say 35%. Notice I didn't put ROI 350%, because here's what's psychologically interesting. That, first of all, instead of showing a bunch of logos, I just show 3 examples. But not just logos, I show the results. But I also show what industry, which is similar to theirs, what type of business they're in, because they could be in a certain vertical, but within a certain niche market. I'll show that. And then I'll talk about the return on investment. And notice that my numbers, I probably have clients who had a 200, 300% return on investment. But you know as well as I do that once you see 200, 300, it's like something in your brain goes, yeah, I don't think I'll get that. That seems high, right? And you don't believe it. But all of a sudden, if I said 18%, you go, I can live with 18%. In fact, if I said 18.73%, Now what are you thinking? Wow, that's pretty accurate. They really measure this. You see how numbers transmit information and credibility. So sometimes you think impressing somebody with 300% is big. It isn't. Impressing somebody with too many logos isn't. But if you're specific, something that relates to their industry or very similar, if not lined up exactly, this is what will move the social proof needle, man. So great question, 6,700. I don't know if I answered your question altogether, but you get the idea. Agree with the trial? Cool. Love that. Let me see. Does that add value? Samir, can you help me out a little bit? What does what? Did I miss something? Does what add value? Is that the question you ask at the end? Do you think this will be beneficial for you? Sharif, if the thing is, so now I think I understand Samir's question. If you get to the end, if you go, well, do you think that'll add value to your business? They're going to go, yeah, probably. There's no power in that. There's no power in that finish, right? Now, if I say, let me show you how it can add value to your business, and I just show you 3 testimonials on return on investment, I'm telling you it's going to add value. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you it's going to add value. So that has more power. And then you have, do you think this will be beneficial for you? Again, that's a dangerous question to ask because then you have people go, well, yeah, sure, it could be. No, remember, you're coming in as an authority, not somebody who doesn't know. You're coming in as an authority. You're coming in to tell them, look, I've worked with other companies. I've dealt with these people. I've dealt with companies like yours. I'm telling you. You don't want to say that out loud, but that's your attitude going in. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ask you if there's beneficial to you. I know this already. My question is, do you understand the magnitude of the benefit? See how I did it? It's going to be beneficial. That's a given. The question is, how beneficial is it going to be? And can you see yourself implementing this solution? That's a beautiful question, right? Can you see yourself implementing this solution and getting these type of results? That's a closing question right there, right? That's a good one. Let me see. What we got here? Relic, back to you again. Victor, as I've explained our issues, how would you like our product to give you support and guidance to solve future issues? Right idea? No. The thing is, as I've explained our issues, how would you like our products to give you? Is that how would you like? It sounds too salesy, right? In other words, remember, you're coming from a position, as I mentioned, of authority, of strength, not of weakness. And so, as I explained, our issues, how would you like our product? No, it says, our product will solve these issues for them. The question is, are you ready to deal with the issues right now? Or something like that, something that has more power, Relic. You know what I mean? Something that's stronger. Don't sell apologetically. Sell with strength, like I'm trying to help you. Listen to me, I'm trying to help you. You know what I mean? I mean, imagine if I came up here and I'm doing I give you content and I go, okay, I'll show you some information. Do you think these issues will help you? Do you think this will help your business? I mean, you see how weak that sounds. But I said, no. I've done these presentations. I've been in front of clients. I know how to shoot. I know how to do short form presentations. I'm telling you, this works. It's just a matter of getting the wordings right and the sequence right and your call to action. That's all you need to do. See the difference in power and authority? Because I've done it. I know. I've had other customers. So if you have customers who've been actually using the product, use that. By the way, the best place to get confidence, in selling is your existing customers. What if you called up your existing customers and asked them simply, hey, tell me why you bought from us and why do you love our product? And have a real nice, frank discussion. And they're going to tell you why they love your product. They're going to tell you why they bought. So now that's going to give you some talk tracks when you talk to your clients. That's going to give you content to be able to talk. So talk to your clients, your existing clients who are succeeding, and that will give you the confidence you need to talk to other clients. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Elkin, what's happening? What do you got? Based on what I've shown you, do you have enough information to take a decision right now? That's a good question at this time. Do you have information, in this case, make a decision right now? Again, if they're in a position to make a decision, so in this case, based on what I've shown you, do you have enough information for us? In other words, if it's a long sales cycle. Now again, if it's a short sales cycle, B2C, this is a great question. Great question. I give you a thumbs up. If it's a long sales cycle, complex sale, then do you have enough information that you'll need to go back to your team and for us to set up a second meeting for us to really talk about, the product in more detail? And they're going to go, Yeah, we have the information. Based on what you've shown us, we have the right information. All right, when can we go ahead and schedule that date? I got, and that's when you try to get at least 1 or 2 dates on the actual calendar. So I like that. I like that. Victor. Sir Victor, man, I've been promoted. Thank you. Okay, please help with the follow-ups on high-end sales like diamond rings and not ending being blocked. Diamond rings, so you're talking to luxury folks, right? So one of my clients was Audemars Piguet. The watches, I think their average watch was like 35 to 55, the average price. And they even have watches that were 1.5 million. And so to help on the follow-up with high-end sales like diamonds, the thing is I have to know what the context of the scenario is. Like, I mean, did you talk to them online? Was this a virtual call? Or did you meet face-to-face with your mask on and you had a conversation? So I need to know that before I can suggest anything. But on the follow-up, my question to you is, why didn't you close them in the first place? Why did you have to do the follow-up? That's, you know what I mean? Because I would say, why didn't you close them there? Typically, a luxury buyer who has the money will make a decision. If they have to think about it, I would question if they actually had the money. And again, I don't know enough, so I'm judging too quickly, so I don't know. That's my answer to that one right now. So here, what did you like best about what I've shared? Great question, right away. What did you like best? Well, again, I like this question, CF. It's a very safe question. Won't get you in trouble if you know what I mean. But what did you like best about what I've shared? I try to tie it back into how it's going to help them. The thing is, there's a lot of things I like best about your product. But that right there, when I saw that impacted me. To me, I'm looking for an impact question. So I would push the wording a little bit. I said, what impacted you the most? Or what feature did you see in our product that you don't currently have that you love to have and implement using it today? What feature did you see that you would love to have access to today? Again, something stronger like that. I think what did you like best is too big. So if you take the word best, what does best mean? We don't know. It compared to what? But what did you like that could help make your job easier? You see that? You see what I mean? I get more specific. I get into their personal space. That's what you want to do. Get into their personal space. Let me know if that helped. Selling strategies, ideas, selling stationary ideas. That can be one of two things. You sell ideas that don't move, or you sell paper. I don't know which one it is. Love the new background. Sergio, thank you. Acuna, thank you. Appreciate that. Before and after story always grabs interest. It also, Vincenzo, it also makes it very easy for them to grasp, right? As you say, what you're saying, grabbing the interest, but also grabs their, it holds their attention, because if you look at weight loss programs, before, after, we love before and after story. Your brain is a before and after machine. And remember, everything's about the gap, right? If you think about it, here's where they're at, here's where you want them to be, let's bridge the gap, right? That's all you're trying to do, bridge the gap to the other side. And I think if you use visuals, definitely the before and after is the best visual to use. So I'm with you on that one. Duarte, let me see what you got. Hi, you make great presentations. Do you have sales booze books or presentation books? I mean, marketing, I thought you said sales booze. I go, like people who boo me, like you're no good, like that. Duarte, I don't, Professor, I'm a marketing professor in Portugal. Marketing people, love them. And always using some of your YouTube films. Thank you. I think that's the best way to watch. I think I have, if you go to my Sales Velocity Academy, I have 3 courses on speaking and presenting that are really good. The one on Inside the Client Mind, let me grab some water here. The one Inside the Client Mind, presentation, and one on conversations. And I teach you how to actually sequence a presentation so it becomes very impactful. You're a professor, you're going to love it, because teaching is presenting. It really is. So good question. Thank you. All right. Got a tickle in my throat. Samir, customers buy you first. What are your recommendations to promote yourself as a sales executive? Great question. And in the end, Samir, you're right. The salesperson, and I think you know this, you, the salesperson, have now become the ultimate differentiator. Let me say that again. You, the salesperson, have become the ultimate differentiator. By that I mean, look, unless you're like somebody special like an Apple or Microsoft, your product or service is just like everybody else's. It's right there. but it's how you speak. It's how you say things. It's not, you know the phrase, it's not, what you sell, it's how you sell. And how you sell is your domain, our domain as salespeople. So when people buy me, what they want is honesty. I think, challenging customers is a good thing. Asking a lot of tough questions to push customers back, I think is a great way to establish some credibility. I know asking tough questions helps. I also know that challenging them and making them just kind of like, take it back. And in some countries, it might be seen as offensive, but I don't think it is. Customers want to know. Here's my point of view. Customers want to know two things. That you're taking their point of view, Samir. That you understand, you're looking at it through their eyes. You understand their POV, their point of view. And they also want to know number two, and that is that you're looking out for their best interest. Now think about it. If I look at it from your point of view and I go, I understand you, Samir, and let me give you the best solution, and I'm also thinking about the money in your pocket, and I want to be able to save you some money. Here's what I would do. I wouldn't buy this, I would buy this. I wouldn't do this, I would do this. And that's what they're looking for. So you're absolutely right that the recommendation is those two things. Have their best interests in mind, take their point of view. I guess the third one would be direct. The thing is, we live in a world where everybody's trying to be nice and say things without saying anything, and you need to be what? Right in there. So I got that. Let me see, what else? You are a genius, man. I don't think so. Want to French kiss your head. That might be going a little too far, but I appreciate the sentiment, man. That's funny. That's funny as hell. I love it, man. Hey, Victor, love the stuff and new studio. Any tip for incentives to get all decision makers together if they all have different schedules and availability? JM, that's a really good question. I was reading a study by one of my favorite websites is, if you ever go to Gong, I've mentioned this in the past, gong.io. It's a revenue intelligence platform, but they also do a lot of different studies, and they're actually looking at data, and artificial intelligence is pulling some of this information out. One of the studies that I think the guy who wrote the article was a guy by the name of Devin Reed. I actually interviewed him on the Sales Influence podcast, and he talked about how you don't want more than 3 or 4 people, right, in your initial meetings. And it's interesting. They show these charts. In the initial meetings, you don't want more than 3 or 4 people, and the deal success rate increased when they start out with a smaller group, and then the second meeting they had 4 or 5 people, and then the next meeting they had like 7, 8 people, and it grew, and the success rate was much more, culminating that way. Because after this 3rd or 4th meeting, the deal's all going down the track. Now we're starting to get details. So maybe the approach is, as they're suggesting, start with a smaller group, even though you don't have all the decision makers. But you know what's going to happen, right? The 2 or 3 people you have in the room, if you do it right, your call to action, as I stated, is going to be what? Let's get with 3 or 4 more decision makers and put them in the room if you like this idea. And you begin to expand it, almost like if you think of, I start out with 3, maybe I'll move to 5, maybe I'll move to 8, like concentric rings, right? And then you move out towards decision makers. And then somewhere out here is success, is basically what they're saying. So hope that helps, but that should give you a visual of how you should do it. Hey, Victor. Work your magic. I will catch the replay. Have the best show ever. Marcello, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you for stopping by. Let me see what we got. Product of the product. That's it. That's a great line. Always be a product of the product when possible. So in other words, use what you're selling. When you use what you're selling, when you're a product of the product, you sell with a totally different mindset. So Zoab, you are absolutely correct. All right, a couple more and I'm out of here. Victor, it's been a while, man. Hope you're well and healthy. I am, Brian. My wife did not let me eat junk food, so she keeps me healthy. So anyway, but thank you, man. Yes, sir. Online diamond sales. Ooh, that's a tough one. Vibhanshu Rana. So well, think about it. One of the things I would do, I'll give you a couple of tips, and I can't solve this one. This is a tough one for me because I have to sell like face-to-face if I'm selling that type of product. But if I were to suggest certain things, is that do you have video testimonials, like people actually talking about their experience with the product and using it? And when you're looking at luxury items, I'm just going to call you VV, right? People want to see other people because think about it, these are status objects, right? So people want to see other people with them. And so, to try to convert these folks is one thing. maybe you can, you know how when you go into one of these expensive jewelry places, of course you do. You know, you put on the white glove and the whole, you know, they show you the thing, only show you 2 or 3 items and things of that nature. I don't know, maybe, is there a way, I'm just brainstorming with you, is there a way for, instead of a chat bot to pop up on your website, is there a way when somebody like picks a certain item that there's like a video chat that pops up, poof, like a video chat that pops up, and then you can say, hey, is there anything you want to see? I'll give you an example. There's a company called Window World, and what they do is they have a camera set up in their studio, in their staging area. And so when people want to look at the product, there's already somebody there actually like waiting on camera like this. So when somebody pops up, boom, I come on, I said, hey, thank you for joining me. Is there anything here that you want to look at specifically? And then imagine having something right here. I put it on a stand. I have a camera right here. I said, let me go ahead and show you that product, and then I can describe the product using that camera. So maybe incorporating some video and some live, demos of the actual products might be a trick. I don't know. That's the best I can do for you, but it's a challenge though. So, but I think that's a good idea. I think you should consider that. If you do use that idea, let me know how it works for you. Great. The idea is to close the meeting. Not always closing the same means making the sale, but at least set the next step on the process, right? There's continuing a sale, then there's advancing the sale. Continuing means you didn't get anywhere. Advancing it means you got to the next level, which is exactly what you want. All right. If you can't close them at the time of the sale, I believe the chance of trying to close them after they walk out of the door drops significantly. I'm not going to argue with that. You are absolutely right. The job is to close them there, and if you didn't close them there and you're not closing them there, then why? Several things could be. One, they're not your ideal client profile. In other words, you're attracting the wrong people. Two, you're attracting the right people, but they don't like your product or something wrong with the product. Assuming your product is good, if the client's right, your product's good, then something in your presentation isn't working. And that's when you have to go back and look at your presentation to see what's not working. So anyway, I got a couple more here. Couple more. Gotcha, Victor. You're on fire. Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to jump out of here, man. I got to go. I've been on here 47 minutes, which is longer than I expected. But thank you guys for joining me. I didn't expect to do an afternoon thing. If I didn't get your question, I'm sorry. I'll probably move my Sales After Dark program to like Thursday. But I'll probably start doing some afternoon ones just like this, just to kind of hang out with you guys. And if you like it, hit the like button below. Don't be stingy. Hit the like button below. If you didn't like it, then don't hit the like button. But also leave a feedback, your questions or answers, just some feedback. Did you like the studio, the new studio? Should I do some in the midday just like this? Do you kind of dig that? Leave me some feedback. It always helps me. And the more you give me feedback, the more I can develop better content for you and give you what you need. And on that note, this is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selenate hard.